Oh, it's been a funny old April. Windiest and coldest I can remember, to be honest, and as sunniest as well. So it's been incredibly sunny, obviously, during the day, but well, 24 hours a day, basically, it's been windy and really cold at night as well. We have quite a few frosts, which has made it really difficult to manage in the greenhouse. Not so much the polytunnel, because the polytunnel's absolutely full of hardy crops, but in here, of course, I've got all the aubergines and melons and peppers and tomatoes and all that, cucumbers, and so they're overheating during the day and then too cold at night. So I haven't even been able to heat it as high a temperature as I'd really like to, because obviously it's pretty expensive to do that. So I'll just skim through what we've got growing, and then I'll get onto the sowing guide for May. And finally, it's a sort of quiet month because so much has already been done. So I am happiest, probably, as I always am at this time of year, with the tomatoes. I'm on my second, sometimes third trusses. They're sort of up here now. This sort of size, about here. Cucumbers are doing fantastic. I think we've picked 30 cucumbers so far this year, and loads more on. You can see the size of the plants. They're doing really nicely, and I've got another one in the conservatory. The aubergines are doing really nicely, looking like quite nice big bushy plants. And I've actually planted out my early summer squashes, some in the polytunnel in containers, and some in some of my low tunnels, and they're looking quite nice as well. So everything's doing pretty well. The peppers haven't really enjoyed it very much. It's been a little bit too cold for them, but of course the brassicas have absolutely loved it. And as I say, the tomatoes in the hanging basket's pretty good. We've got a few tomatoes on at the moment, but really nice big trusses there. So quite happy with those. And all the strawberries are doing reasonably okay as well. And got a couple of successions of sweet corn going, lots of basil, lots more cucumbers to go in the polytunnel, loads of beans all out at the moment, lots of celery in the polytunnel already, celeriac's coming on okay. I think that's enough really for what's growing. Let's talk about what I'm sowing in May and why. So first up are my Eskimo carrots. So those are my winter and spring carrots. I sow them really early for three reasons really. One is I have space available and it's a bit shady, so they don't grow very fast. Second reason is they're Eskimo. They don't grow very fast anyway. They're a slow growing but really hardy winter carrot. And third, I've just got the space available now. It's full of lettuces right now, but by the middle of May, most of those lettuces, maybe third week in May, something like that, all those lettuces will be gone. I'll be on to my next successional lettuce. I've got nothing else to put in that bed that I can get harvested before I'd have to put the carrots in. So I might as well put the carrots in. They're holding the ground really well. Not a problem putting them in that early. They don't grow huge. They just grow like good supermarket sort of sized main crop carrots. So that's Eskimo. Next up are the purple sprouting broccolis. Now I'm not doing very many purple sprouting broccolis. In fact, I'm half what I did last year because I'm running out of space to plant purple sprouting broccoli, because pretty much all my plot and Debbie's plot has got clubroot, and so we're really short of space, beds rather, that are clubroot free. And putting a plant in them like purple sprouting broccoli that's going to grow all the way through summer and early autumn, when clubroot is at its most active, you lose a lot of them. And so the alternative, which is what I'm going to be doing next year, or this year rather, is to sow some of my calabrese early in September and grow it on a little bit more aggressively than I normally do. I leave it under grow lights for a little bit longer than I normally do. I normally only do it for about 3 weeks. So maybe do it for 6 weeks. So they're bigger plants. So they will come ready for harvest sort of beginning of April, something like that, which is normally when I'm picking the purple sprouting broccoli. So a much better use of space, because I'll only be planting those out maybe December, January sort of time. So I get all my summer harvest, all my autumn harvest, and then put the calabrese in, and then it's out basically by May when I need the beds for something else. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing next year, or this year. Next up anyway are my next batch of Algarve French beans and Cobra French beans, and this sun is getting in my eyes. And yeah, I've already got 2 batches of those, one in the polytunnel, one outside wrapped in polythene, and this one will obviously probably catch up, to be honest, because French beans do really motor along once the conditions are right for them, and at the moment the conditions aren't quite right, a little bit too cold for them. Next up, gladiator parsnips. We just do 1 succession normally of parsnips unless we haven't got enough space. But I think this year we've got enough space. I think we've only got space for 1 succession, so we'll just do that. Plant my yacon out. At the moment it's just under there. I can just see it starting to shoot, and I've got loads of yacon, way more than I need, because I grew maybe 6 or 7 pots of it last year, and I've still got loads left. Yeah, so I think I'm only going to do 2, maybe 3 pots, because it's quite prolific, really. You get quite a big harvest off it, and you don't eat that much of it. It's not the sort of thing where you're eating like vast quantities of it every day. Next up, Entita salad onions, and they're my favourite for summer. And actually, we really enjoyed them in autumn and early winter as well. They grew really big, but then I just skinned them and just took the core out, and the core was absolutely delicious. So yeah, I might grow a few more of those later on in the season as well. And then my last batch of Savoy cabbage. I've got 4 successions of Savoy at the moment. We harvested our first Savoy last week, and that was from my January sowing. So yeah, we've got 6 more of those to go, and then on to the next succession. I've got another 6 out there. Another 6 somewhere or other. So yeah, I generally do a batch of 6 every couple of weeks, every month rather. Then Christmas Brussels sprouts. Now I've got lots of Brussels sprouts. I've got some red Brussels sprouts in the ground already. I've got some green Christmas Brussels sprouts in pots, pretty big. They're going to go in my primary location. But what I found last year is that I could actually get a decent harvest of Brussels sprouts from this sowing, middle of May sort of sowing. They're not huge. They grew probably up to my hips, perhaps the biggest ones. Maybe some of them are a bit lower than that even. But they still were still a reasonable crop, and so that allows me to plant them after I've already harvested something else, like my early potatoes, for example. And they're up now. They're quite big, actually, about this sort of size, and growing really well in the ground. So once I've taken those out, I'll be able to put the Brussels sprouts in. So I think I'll probably do that, just because we never quite have enough Brussels sprouts. And then next succession of lettuce. As I said, I've got 1 succession that's all ready for harvest at the moment. Next succession's in the ground, probably a couple of weeks away from harvest, as full heads. I tend to do a lot of full head harvests at this time of year because I'm very busy. And then I switch over to harvesting individual leaves when I've got a little bit more time in summer. So yeah, excited to get this batch sown and in the ground. So I'll not go through it because you can just go through them all. There's loads of different varieties. I generally do 9 different varieties at a time. And then another succession of Clapton cauliflower and Monclano calabrese, and they're the two ones that we grow now in spring and summer because they're club root resistant, and everything we grow really in summer, apart from the PSB, is club root resistant wherever we can find a variety that is. The only thing we've got actually that isn't club root resistant that we're growing this year in anger are a few kales and a few colettes. So colettes are one of our absolute favourite things, so we try and find at least one spot where that hasn't currently got club root where we can put some colettes, and that's going to be in the kitchen garden at the front of the house this year. People really like those actually. Everybody coming by is always like, wow, those plants, because nobody's ever seen them before. So that is it, and it's not so overwhelming really, is it? So normally when I'm doing these, even I feel quite overwhelmed by the quantity of things that I'm sowing, but this year very little, because I've got all my winter squash sown, all my summer squash sown, all my beans, all my sweet corn, and and my second succession of tomatoes there. In fact, I've just taken all the side shoots off my early tomatoes, the ones that are in the greenhouse here, and I'm just rooting all those up, and they're looking pretty good. So I haven't sown any seeds really for the tomatoes apart from these early ones. Everything else is side shoots, so that's worked out really well. And even though this greenhouse looks pretty cluttered at the moment, I've had to take outside a huge amount of stuff that's on the table outside because it's just too hot in here. So there's nothing up on my shelves. They're completely empty. I have a lot going on at the moment. Anyway, my name's Steve. This is the Outgrow channel, and I'm quite tired, and I'll see you soon.